What's up, everybody? Tendo here, and with me I've got a stretched out Yoda and not the Hannah that you're looking for. And today we're going to talk about movies. So before we even get started, what I want you guys to do is pause the video, and I want you to below in the comment section list your 3 favorite movies. That's right. Pause the video and leave us a comment. And if you want extra bonus points, go join our Discord and go over to the movie section that we've just recently added on the Discord and comment maybe your top 5, and then we can talk even more in depth there. But I definitely want your comments here on YouTube. What's your favorite top 3? Check this out. Alright guys, let's jump right into this. We're each going to go through our 3 most favorite movies, and if we talk about any movies that you're particularly fond of, definitely comment below and let us know what you like about those movies. Let's start with Hannah, then let's do Patrick, and then we'll end with mine. Hannah, what's your 3rd favorite movie?
My 3rd favorite movie I decided was Grand Budapest Hotel.
Ooh, by Wes Anderson.
Yes.
Why do you want to be a lobby boy?
Who wouldn't? At the Grand Budapest, sir.
Wes Anderson is one of those filmmakers that makes a very stylized film. There's no question when a Wes Anderson movie comes on that it's a Wes Anderson movie. Comment below. Any of you guys Wes Anderson film fans? Rushmore comes to mind. What are some of the other ones? Fantastic Mr. Fox is a good one if you're into claymation.
I really love his movies because they're so colorful. They just make me happy.
Yeah.
And that one in particular because it's just so quirky and it's just kind of a weird little story, and I don't know.
Yeah, well that pretty much describes all of his movies. If you just need a quick weird fix, I don't know, there's just a certain way you can feel in which a Wes Anderson movie can do you a lot of good. Yeah. Alright, what is your 2nd favorite movie?
My 2nd favorite movie is Corpse Bride.
Sounds creepy.
Oh, a Tim Burton movie.
Yes.
So you like stylized weird movies is what I'm gathering.
Kind of, yeah. Never thought of it that way, but I've always loved Tim Burton. His quirky, like, just dark style. Just Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie I grew up on, so I really loved that one. And I don't know, something about Corpse Bride just really spoke to me. Alright, Hannah, what is your absolute most favorite movie? My favorite movie ever is Moulin Rouge. It's just this really weird... I like a lot of weird movies.
Oh, yes. Let Mummy help. Does that inspire you?
It's also very, very stylized. I'm not familiar enough with that movie to know specifically who directed it, but if I recall correctly, it stars Ewan, or more commonly known as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Why is that your favorite movie?
Like Corpse Bride, actually, the first time I watched it, I really hated it. It's literally the worst thing I've seen ever in my life. Didn't get it. And then I watched it again because I was like, you know what? I don't think I gave it a fair chance. And then something made sense about it. I have a theater major, so I understood the, like, theatrical breakdown of it a little bit better, and, like, the first act is just wild and crazy and weird, and then it gets real serious. And it's just so funny in the very beginning in this just really quirky way, and I like it.
And it's got in it. That makes the movie for me right there. Alright, let's move on to Patrick's 3 most favorite movies. Let's start with number 3. The best part about this video is I told both of these guys not to tell me. Well, I know what both of their most favorite movie are. That's just a bit of information you have to know about your friends. But the other ones, these guys might or might not be unlike me. My favorite movies rotate. My number 1 favorite pretty much stays the same. But the ones below that kind of rotate. Speaking of which, before you answer your favorite movies, both of you guys, let's talk about that. Like, if I ask you this question next month, do you think any of these movies will change?
Probably not.
No? Yours are pretty solid?
I don't watch a whole lot of movies, I guess.
I think my 3rd movie may change, but the first 2 will never change.
Your top 2 are solid?
Yeah.
I think my number 1 is solid, but my number 2s probably shift around with some really close runners-up. All right, Patrick, your 3rd favorite movie?
My 3rd favorite movie is probably Space Jam.
Space Jam, let's go.
Bottoms up.
It's funny you say that. I'm not sure if I knew that was one of your favorite movies, but I kid you not, I've got a CRT with a built-in VCR. It's like this big, and we sit here in the living room and watched Space Jam on VHS and ate dinner together a couple months ago. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
I'm glad that we had that time together, Patrick. All right, why is Space Jam your third favorite movie?
I'm just a big basketball fan,
This he is.
and just, I don't know, the concept of it with Michael Jordan and all these other famous athletes, Charles Barkley, Muggsy Bogues, like as the aliens. Yeah, I just love it.
That's awesome. How old were you when you saw it the first time, you think?
Early middle school probably.
Okay.
So like 12, 13.
Well, that's interesting because it had been out for several years before you'd seen it, if that's
Yeah,
true. So
yeah.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, well, you must have already really been into basketball by the time you've seen it, right?
I actually was. I mean, I've always liked basketball, but like, I'm more into it now than I was before. But I don't know, just like, I enjoy sports a lot, so a movie like that came out, I just really enjoyed it.
I was just trying to think about it because like that movie came out when I was like 7 or 8 or something. Like
Yeah.
the movie's way older than I think my memory really wants to remember it is, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm really excited for the next one too. Space Jam 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll have to like vlog that whole day and go sleep outside of the theater or something when that comes out. That's
I
just
don't know about that one. But,
well, I will. You guys go do whatever you're gonna do. All right. What's your second favorite movie?
the first Anchorman.
The first Anchorman, specifically,
Yeah.
not the second one.
No.
A real ice queen.
I just burned my tongue.
Why is that so high on your favorite movies list?
I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan. It's just, I love comedy. It's my favorite genre. It's just like quirky and weird and funny and awkward. Just everything I love in a comedy movie.
Now, what is your absolute most favorite movie?
The Ocean's Trilogy.
Oh, man.
If all the animals along the equator were capable of flattery, then Thanksgiving and Halloween would fall on the same date.
You know what? That's probably not favorite enough for me to be on top 3, but that's probably top 10 for me.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
What makes the Ocean's movies so great to you?
It's probably the only movie or movie series, I guess, with any sort of like, what's the word? Significance, I guess, to me, because my dad showed me that series, the first one actually, Ocean's 11.
Right.
And at first I thought it was like, it's gonna be a boring movie. Like, why does my dad want to watch this with me? And then I watched it with him because he nagged me to.
Right. He made you watch it, and you're like, oh, whatever, Dad, and then you did. I'll tell you, I don't mean to steal your thunder here, but I'll tell you why the Ocean's movies are so high on my list. It's because Hannah was a theater major, and I was actually a creative writing major. So most of my adult life, all I've ever wanted to do is write things, and that led me into this video profession that I do. And what I actually do is I write commercial projects for different people, and then I get paid to shoot them and stuff. And it's kind of beside the point, but I love dialogue. I love well-written dialogue. And so a movie's plot can be garbage, which arguably the plot's not that super strong in the Ocean's movies, but the way they walk around and talk to each other is just catnip for my brain. I can definitely agree with you there.
Yeah.
Also, rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I do have 2 bonus movies.
Oh wow, you got runners up. Well, that means that we have to do runners up. Let's
didn't make my
let's
list.
save the runners up for the end then.
Okay.
He's got a smirk on his face. That's kind of worrisome. All right, my third favorite movie. This is hard because I asked the question I did about your favorite movies shifting around because mine do. Maybe not number 1, but the rest do. And so right now, my third favorite movie is just going to be something that I actually saw not terribly long ago, and it's just been sitting with me. And I don't mean to make this kind of into a weird, mushy thing, but like I love movies. I've actually shot a lot of movies myself. We can talk about that a little bit at the end before this video is over. But a good movie to me is just something that sits with me. Even if I watch a movie and I'm not, I'm like, oh, the dialogue's not good, or there's those distracting things that makes a movie not great. To me, if I find myself thinking about it weeks and weeks later and months later, that my brain goes, that was a good movie. And so a film that my next two films, my number one and number two, you guys will definitely you'll definitely know about that. But I'm gonna be surprised if anyone watching has seen this one. The first one is a foreign film called Mustang. That's my number three, and it's just about it's set in Turkey. It's a foreign film. It's all in Turkish, and it's a story about a set of girls growing up and their religious household, and it's really just it's a personal story that the people that wrote it was very true to them, and it taught me a lot about a different part of the world that I didn't know about. So it's just a film that I can't get out of my head because of how real it was and how I don't know, just how much it taught me about the way things were in a part of the world that I'm not familiar with. So I like that. I like that kind of movie, and that film was actually suggested to me by a friend that is Iranian. So, you know, it was him even telling me to watch the movie was born out of a conversation where we were talking about the state of things where he was from and just talking about things around the world that me as a pretty basic American dude was not very privy to. So just the whole experience around that film even solidifies it really high on my list. And despite being something real, it's also just a really, really great film. So I do encourage you to check it out. I think maybe I watched it on Netflix at the time. Don't know if it'd still be there. But my number two is a lot more secular, let's say. My number two favorite film is The Prestige by Christopher Nolan. Are either of you familiar with this film?
I've heard it.
Hannah definitely knows what it is because these movies that are on my top of the list, I watch on repeat. I watch them over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I've seen The Prestige probably dozens and dozens of times, and it's kind of the same thing. The Prestige is written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and it was a movie he did in between, I believe. I think he did it in between a couple of his Batman movies. And I love Christopher Nolan, so all of his movies are probably on my top 20 list. You know, I love his Batman films. I don't worship the ground that his Batman movies are made on, and it's almost because I love his other movies so much. Not that I have a problem with his Batman movies, but the rest of his films are just really great to me, and The Prestige is my personal favorite. And it's kind of hard to describe why. It's again, dialogue. The way that the people move about in this movie and talk to each other is just, it sets it apart from a lot of movies. And of course, you know, just the stage magic aspect of it. These guys walking around doing magic tricks and then adding this other magical third realm into it. It's really complicated. But guys, do comment below. Are you a Christopher Nolan fan? I have a feeling we got a lot of Christopher Nolan fans watching. We've definitely had some discussions about some of his movies already in the Discord, etc. But that's my number two. That's my Inception's great. Even his older movies like Memento and Insomnia are great. I love all of Christopher Nolan's movies, but I'll go watch The Prestige right now, and I just watched it a couple weeks ago. That's my number two. Anybody want to guess what my number one is? Actually, you know.
I know.
Okay. My number one favorite movie is a film called Punch Drunk Love. Didn't I warn you? That's that! And it stars Adam Sandler, which is really funny because a lot of people, when I say this is my favorite movie, if they've heard of it, they'll go, your favorite movie's an Adam Sandler movie? And I almost take umbrage to that, because Adam Sandler's a really good actor. Now he's done a lot of movies that are his specific avenue of comedy, but if there's one film he's done that was just way outside of that particular vein of comedy, it was this movie. It's a movie by Paul Thomas Anderson, so a lot of you watching might actually be familiar with Boogie Nights, which is one of his more popular films, which I think maybe Punch Drunk Love that was a couple movies after Boogie Nights, but he did Boogie Nights. More recently, he did Inherent Vice, and he's got a bunch of movies, and I've seen them all. I've seen them all a dozen times each, but that one's, again, just my favorite. It's almost like, Hannah, you like all of Wes Anderson movies, right?
Yeah.
But Grand Budapest Hotel is your favorite one of those. we liked Wes Anderson, and we like Paul Thomas Anderson, and that just happens to be my favorite one. And it's kind of funny, because I'm glad that you guys did this with me, and actually I'm really glad that you guys did this video with me, because it's kind of hard to say what I want to say. I don't mean to say that video game people, which most of you watching are, don't necessarily like films and like artsy films like I do. I'm sure we're going to have some people comment that very much so have somewhat similar tastes to me, but I just kind of imagine a lot of people watching are probably like more into the things you guys are. I don't know. I'm probably making some sort of judgment. I really hope to find out some of you guys might like some of the same movies that I do. But my top 10 looks a lot like that. It kind of, you have to get into my top 20 to get more into like some of the secular things like Oceans and stuff like that. But it's good talk, guys.
Yeah.
Good talk. All right, well, I guess let's do runner-ups. Do you have runner-ups? It doesn't have to be two. It can just be one.
I want to go last.
You want to go last? All right. Do you have one?
I have one runner-up. I was trying to think of another one while we were sitting here, but the one that I just keep going, I would watch that movie any day. Ooh, okay, I have two runners-up now. That just came to mind. The two that I would watch any day, if you go, let's watch it, I'd be like, yes, would be Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm gonna wreck it! Oh,
I just really
nice.
love it. It's so cute. And the other one is also a cartoon movie, and it's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
There's a leak in the boat!
Wow.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Hannah does like animated movies a lot more than I do. Again, not that I don't like them. I'd pretty much rather watch Punch Drunk Love for the 6,000th time than I would a cartoon movie, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna come. I don't know. I've been this whole time I've been talking in the back of my head. I've been going, "You'll come up with something." I don't have any runners up. I'm probably gonna have to go last. So I have to sit here and think of them now.
You don't need a runner up.
All right, well let's see
with your three.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a movie. This isn't necessarily maybe even that high on my list, but I'll tell you a movie that I'm sitting here thinking about that I for some reason have just always loved, and it's not a movie that was terribly popular except for being referenced in pop culture, and it's that movie August Rush. You remember the one where Freddie Highmore, the little kid, played the guitar and Robin Williams was in it and was the bad guy?
When I was a young fella, I used to talk to the man.
Does it ever talk back?
Well, he used to. Now I just find myself on a roof talking to myself. Like a loon.
That was just a great movie. It's a movie I think about all the time because it's just this movie where music is a magical force, almost like it's Star Wars, but not really. And there's this magical moving force that brings these people together. I just always thought it was a beautiful film. You know, you guys know Tendo and his choice of video games are really dumb things like, you know, giant robots fighting each other and zombies and stuff. So some of you probably aren't expecting me to name all these mushy movies, but I guess that's a runner-up for me. I might think of another one while you talk. We'll see.
Okay.
You've got two runners-up.
Yeah.
I'm scared. He's been sitting over there laughing this whole time thinking about these runners-up. Are you sure you don't want to, like, replace the other ones?
No, I'm sure.
Okay.
These
are runners-up. All right, let's hear them.
Alright, most of you guys probably aren't familiar with these films, which may surprise you.
Okay.
But my two runners up are Listed and Lost in Time.
Alright, well that's a good segue, actually. That's a really good segue, Patrick. So Listed, you're so dumb. I did not tell him to do this. Listed and Lost for Time are films written and directed by who?
This guy.
By me. It's really funny. I don't remember how it happened, but someone on our Discord the other day messaged me and told me they were watching one of my movies, and I was like, how? You know? I have a YouTube channel on YouTube where I have put my films, and they're watchable, and you can go watch them. I guess the best way to get there, if you go to our main YouTube page, there's a suggested thing of movies, and I don't know. Some of you might not come back after you see some of the movies. You know, Lost in Time is fine. It's just it was a very early movie I shot, and it was goofy. Patrick's actually in it. Hannah's not in it, but she actually made the wardrobe. That might be a good reason you guys might like go and watch it because we actually thrifted all the costumes, and Hannah, modified a lot of them, and so everything in the movie that people are wearing, Hannah put together from thrifted stuff. So that kind of goes together. The movie he's talking about listed is not up, but there is a couple other movies in that style on there. We shoot some mockumentary films, kind of The Office-like.
He's coming. Oh my God! Split up! No vest! No vest!
They're pretty wild. Don't watch them with your kids around. They're wild. Lost in Time's not so wild, but yeah. So I was going to say a little bit something about that, which kind of brings us to the last thing I want to talk about, and maybe you guys can comment about or go to the Discord and message me about. I've really been struggling with if and how to incorporate movies into this channel. Because we love movies, and The Mandalorian just came on Disney Plus, and I kind of want to make some videos and talk about that. And the new Star Wars movie is coming out. We're all into Star Wars, you know, and we're definitely excited to see it and want to make videos about it. But we just don't know if it's right for this channel or if we should make a separate channel and put it on there. All right. It's a really tough decision. So we'd kind of like to know what you guys think. Would you like to see a whole separate channel, or should we just once a month, twice a month, make one of our videos about movies or TV or whatever we're watching, etc., etc., and even maybe possibly take suggestions for that kind of thing. The only plus side I see to actually making a separate channel for the movies is just that there is a certain part of the year, every year, where my only focus is filmmaking. And, you know, so if I was going to make vlogs out of traveling to the other side of the country where I usually go to shoot films, they'd not be very heavily video game related and or, you know, gaming related like everything we do. So it just, there's part of me that just really thinks maybe I should just make a separate channel so that it doesn't confuse this one. But I don't know. It may not be necessary. I'll just have to kind of either try little bits of it, which is why we're doing this now, throwing a little bit of movie content out there. But I don't know. It's just something that we need to make a decision on and get to doing. So for right now, we're just going to do a little bit of movie content every now and then. And this being the first video. And I think this is a good first video to do because we're very eager to hear what your favorite films are as well. If we get 40, 50 people, 40 or 50 of our main, you know, audience, the people, what I mean by main audience is the people that comment the most. If you guys comment and tell me your favorite movies, I think we'll kind of have some sort of idea of where we're all at. There might be some sort of defining line or some sort of, I don't know, some bit of information we can go, okay, we all kind of like this kind of thing. Let's make some videos about these kinds of movies. I don't know. Do comment below. What's your top favorite movies? One of my favorite pastimes right behind playing video games is talking about movies. So do go over to our Discord and let's talk a little bit more about movies, because we have a section on our Discord set just aside for movies, and not just movies, TV shows. We might have to make one of these episodes again in the future on what our favorite TV shows is, because I got some favorite TV shows. And I know this, I don't know anybody that watches TV. I don't mean like sits in front of the TV and watches TV, but like very specific TV shows. This guy's seen them all.
You know my favorite already. Yeah,
he's got some favorite TV shows, and I know those. I don't know if I know yours so well. I mean, I know which favorite shows we watch together are, but I don't know if you would those would constitute for your actual favorites. So yeah, maybe we'll do an episode of that in the future. Also, if you guys have any sort of suggestions on what kind of movie, TV related videos we can make, we're definitely open to suggestions. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been our first episode of Shark Watch, Shark Flicks. I don't know. It's a working title.
Shark Plus.
Shark Plus. Perfect timing, Patrick. Thank you for watching, guys. Like I said, do join the Discord. Do follow us here on YouTube, too. We are climbing in subscribers, and we want to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. That's not super likely, but it's a good goal. We will reach towards it. When you do subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell, because when you do, that just means that you get a little ding on your computer or your phone, letting you know that we've posted a video. So when we post these movie videos in the future, or a shopping video, or just a video of me chasing Patrick around with a baseball bat, I don't know you never know what we're going to do. That's my point. So when we post one of those random videos in the future, you'll get a notification. You can come back and hang out with us then. But until then, guys, peace out.